As I listened attentively and deeply to Coriculture Bob's story, I paid attention to his words, his body movements, and emotion. I could feel a powerful emotion of grief, distress, and complex trauma. It made me think of how hard it must have felt to share and describe his personal challenges, his struggles to fit into the current society, and to hold on to the heritage he came from. Being on the situation is hard to imagine, but it made me appreciate to hear his voice, his honesty and bravery to share his story, and it also made me become curious of how he is now. While story listening, it made me connect to my experience when I just migrated to Australia. How those big feelings were overwhelming, leaving my home and my family behind. I moved to the unknown and there was a big change. It felt like I lost my identity because everything was unfamiliar. Different culture, uncertain place, different language, the people, and fitting in was not easy. It made me also think of how others might be also experiencing the same struggles, struggling how to cope due to not receiving any support and not knowing anyone and who can help them. Listening to the story made me reflect on my current inclusive practices, how my practices would impact others and might help them to overcome struggles. It influences my teaching practices and connect me more unto myself, to understand better, and to listen and learn more. In Reggio Emilia's pedagogy of listening, listening is not easy. It requires a deep awareness and a suspension of our own judgments and prejudice. It demands that we value the unknown and overcome the feeling of emptiness and precariousness that we experience when our certainties are questioned. So to understand effectively is to listen, but without judgments, assumptions, and prejudice, but to acknowledge, value, and make connections. Through story listening, I would be able to make connection and build respectful and collaborative relationship at mentorship with the children, their families, my colleagues, and the communities. I would be able to consider other ways of meaning making, which influences my understanding of inclusive practices and supporting them to develop a sense of belonging where they can feel safe and supported. I would also be able to gain more knowledge and understanding of different cultural practices and learn the skills to interact with them effectively and provide appropriate support for their individual needs. So as a teacher, I would like to promote an inclusive practices that all individual children and their families are able to access, participate, and experience a positive outcome in an early childhood setting. I want to foster diversity of respect and promote an anti-bias education so children and their families are acknowledged, valued, and their rights are prioritized, that they can maintain their sense of identity, so they won't struggle to develop a sense of belonging in the society. To do this, I would like to begin to foster an active story listening skills in my inclusive practice. Thank you.